The FIA just exposed something Red Bull never wanted public. And we are days away from the first race of a brand new era. Internal documents reveal an upgrade package worth up to half a second per lap. Half a second. At the opening Grand Prix in Australia. Over 2,000 laps completed in testing. 0 major failures. 4/10ths faster than Ferrari in race simulations. 12 degrees cooler engine temperatures than rivals. 15 kilometers per hour gained on the straight without aggressive deployment. And here is the detail that should worry everyone. Verstappen was running conservative engine modes while setting purple sectors. Meaning the real pace was hidden. This is not a minor evolution. This is a strategic advantage. A blown diffuser redesign that turns engine heat into downforce. A completely revised front wing solving slow corner understeer. A Ford power unit showing no clipping over long runs. Race degradation as low as 0.1 seconds per lap. We are about to witness the first lights out of 2026. And if these leaked upgrades perform the way the data suggests, the championship could start with Red Bull already ahead. Subscribe now. Because what happens in Melbourne may define the entire season before it even begins. Red Bull did not go to testing to make noise. They went there to disappear. While the headlines focused on flashy single lap runs, the RB22 quietly built something far more dangerous. Proof. Over 2,000 laps completed across pre-season testing. That is not normal mileage. That is deliberate stress testing. And through all of it, there were 0 major mechanical failures. Only a brief hydraulic issue early on, resolved without replacing core components. After that, the car ran endlessly. Lap after lap. Stint after stint. And here is where the story shifts. Because the RB22 was not chasing pole simulations. It was chasing race pace data. Leaked GPS overlays suggested that during long runs, Red Bull were approximately 4/10ths per lap faster than Ferrari. 4/10ths. Over a full race distance, that is enormous. But here is the detail that changes everything. Verstappen was not running maximum engine modes. In the most technical sector of Bahrain, he recorded purple mini sectors while using a conservative internal power setting. Meaning there was performance left untouched. Hidden. Stored. Now think about what that implies. If conservative mapping already produced that level of pace, what happens when the aggressive modes are unlocked in qualifying? Or during a critical overtake? But it gets even more strategic. The Ford power unit is not just powerful. It is thermally efficient. Operating temperatures reportedly around 12 degrees Celsius cooler than rivals. That difference sounds small. It is not. Lower temperatures mean sustained hybrid deployment. No early clipping at the end of long straights. Stable energy harvesting without overheating the battery. In 2026, energy management is everything. And Red Bull appear to have built an engine that wastes almost nothing. During long runs, the RB22 maintained consistent straight-line speed deep into stints. No drop-off. No forced lift and coast. That is psychological pressure on rivals. Because when you know the car behind can deploy full power lap after lap, mistakes start to happen. Now let's connect that to Verstappen's adaptation. This generation is heavier. More complex. Hybrid deployment is more aggressive. Drivers cannot simply attack every corner without consequence. Max has adjusted. Smoother steering inputs. Progressive throttle application. Careful brake release to maximize regeneration while protecting rear stability. He is not overdriving the car. He is optimizing it. And that is why the degradation numbers matter. During a 57-lap simulation, the RB22 reportedly averaged around 0.1 seconds per lap drop-off. That is extraordinary consistency. Because Melbourne punishes rear tires. Repeated traction zones. Heavy braking into slow corners. If degradation stays that low, strategy opens up dramatically. One stop becomes realistic. late race attacks become sustainable. And that is before we even break down the aerodynamic upgrades that the FIA documents quietly exposed. Because the real performance leap may not come from raw horsepower. It may come from how Red Bull are turning airflow and engine heat into something far more valuable. Control. And control wins championships. And this is where the FIA leak becomes uncomfortable. Because the documents did not just confirm performance. They confirmed intent. Red Bull are not refining the RB22. They are evolving it aggressively, starting in Melbourne. The first major detail is the blown diffuser version 2 sidepod concept. At first glance, it looks like a deeper undercut. But it is far more than that. The inlet geometry has been reshaped to pull air tighter around the chassis. The undercut is carved deeper, creating a more aggressive channel toward the rear floor. And the exit airflow is directed precisely toward the upper surface of the diffuser ramp. Why is that critical? Because the Ford power unit produces hot exhaust gases that can be used strategically. Instead of simply cooling the engine, Red Bull are using that thermal energy to energize airflow at the rear. That creates a subtle blown effect. Not an illegal system. Not Active-Aero. Just smart integration. Internal CFD analysis suggests around 15% improvement in rear load efficiency through medium speed corners. That translates to roughly 0.2 per lap in sectors similar to Melbourne's technical middle section. But here is the deeper layer. When rear stability improves, tire slip reduces. When tire slip reduces, degradation drops. And when degradation drops to around 0.1 seconds per lap, Sunday becomes yours. Now let's talk about the front wing revision. Max reported slight understeer in slow corners during testing. Red Bull responded immediately. A completely revised mainplane geometry. More camber for stronger front bite. A reshaped outboard flap to manage tire wake more effectively. And a more aggressive footplate vane to direct airflow outward. Estimated gain in slow speed sectors? Around 1.5 tenths. That is significant at Albert Park. Turn 1. Turn 3. Heavy braking. Quick rotation. If the front responds sharply without destabilizing the rear, the car becomes balanced. And balance protects tires. Then come the details nobody notices at first. Airbox winglets. Subtle mirror mount reshaping. These elements clean turbulent airflow before it reaches the rear wing. They improve crosswind stability by roughly 5%. And Melbourne is notorious for unpredictable gusts. If the aerodynamic platform remains stable in changing wind conditions, the driver can trust the car. And when Verstappen trusts the car, he pushes without hesitation. Now consider the diffuser extension tied to the rear crash structure. Expanding the rear volume increases airflow extraction efficiency. That improves traction out of the final corner, which leads directly onto the main straight, which means stronger acceleration before the braking zone. Combine that with the refined Stage 2 Ford engine mapping, optimized for launch and low gear torque response, and you create something dangerous in race scenarios. Especially safety car restarts. Imagine the field compressed. 5 laps remaining. Verstappen exits the final corner with superior traction. Full hybrid deployment available. No clipping. Additional straight line efficiency building instantly. That is how races are decided. But here is what truly makes this package intimidating. Red Bull are not optimizing for a single lap. They are engineering dominance over distance. The FIA documents confirm a projected gain between 4 and 6 tenths per lap from the Melbourne package alone. Most of that advantage appears in race trim. And that aligns perfectly with Verstappen's driving style in this new era. He has adapted by smoothing throttle inputs, by managing brake regeneration precisely, by protecting rear tires over long stints. He is not overdriving. He is calculating. And that is why this moment matters. We are days away from the first race of a completely new generation. If the RB22 performs in Melbourne the way these leaked upgrades suggest, Red Bull will not just start strong. They will set the benchmark. And once a benchmark is set in a regulation reset, catching up becomes exponentially harder. The real question now is simple. Are these upgrades the beginning of dominance? Or are they only the first layer of something even bigger Red Bull have yet to reveal?